there's a trap, a psychological illusion so deeply woven into the fabric of our society, so subtly embedded into our daily lives, that most people live their entire existence inside it without ever realizing it even exists. It's like an invisible cage, a set of invisible chains that restrict your potential, your happiness, your sense of self, all while convincing you that this is just how life is supposed to be. This trap isn't a conspiracy theory or a malicious plot designed by a hidden elite. No, it's much more insidious than that. It's a collective mental programming, a set of beliefs, assumptions, and expectations that society, through its institutions, media, education, and social norms, has conditioned you to accept as normal. And what makes this trap particularly dangerous? It's so normalized, so ingrained in our culture, that most people accept it as natural. They mistake it for their own true nature, never questioning whether life could be anything different. The problem is, this illusion influences nearly everything: what you believe you're capable of, the relationships you settle for, the dreams you allow yourself to pursue, even how you define your worth and identity. And here's the most disturbing truth: this trap was never truly yours to begin with. You were born into it, born into a system that shapes your perception of reality before you even have a chance to realize you're in a cage. It's like being born into a house with crooked walls, and over time, you accept it as normal because that's all you've ever known. In this exploration, we'll uncover the nature of this psychological trap, understand how it forms, why it keeps you small and limited, and most importantly, how you can break free from its invisible grip. Because freedom is possible. It starts with awareness, with questioning everything you've been told, and with reclaiming your true power. Let's begin by understanding the fundamental reality. Human beings are born with incredible potential, not just as a motivational cliché, but as a biological fact rooted in our very nature. A child, in their purest form, is a blank slate, a universe of possibility. They have the innate ability to learn any language, absorb complex information, adapt rapidly to new environments, and develop skills that seem impossible for adults. Their minds are malleable, their curiosity endless, and their capacity for growth unlimited. But as we grow older, that openness begins to shrink, that potential becomes constrained. And this isn't because of innate limitations, it's because of the systems around us. It's society's way of shaping us into predictable, manageable beings. This is where the psychological trap begins, with what I call indoctrination into limitation. From a young age, we're conditioned to accept certain boundaries, to see certain possibilities as off-limits. We're told what's realistic, what's appropriate, what's normal, and these words become the filters through which we interpret everything. Think about the labels you were assigned as a child: good student, troublemaker, quiet, gifted, average, not enough, too much. These labels are not just words, they are the first seeds of identity. Your mind absorbs them like laws etched into your consciousness, and over time, these labels become the lens through which you view yourself and the world. But here's the crucial point: these labels are not truths. They are reflections of societal expectations, stereotypes, and conditioning. They are repeated by authority figures, parents, teachers, media, peers, all trusted sources who, often unintentionally, implant these beliefs into your subconscious. This process, where external narratives are internalized as your own truth, is what I call identity implantation. It's the first step in the creation of the psychological trap. You didn't consciously choose most of these beliefs. They were installed, like software updates, in your mind, shaping your self-image and your limits. For example, a child told, "You're just not creative," might grow up believing they lack imagination. or someone told, "You'll never be good at math," may accept that as a fixed reality, no matter how much effort they put in later on. These beliefs become self-fulfilling prophecies because you start to filter your experiences through them, confirming them again and again until they feel like absolute truth. This is how the trap maintains its grip, by creating a false sense of identity, a mental cage that you believe is just who you are, but it doesn't stop there. The next phase is conformity conditioning. Society rewards obedience and conformity, not originality or authenticity. From early childhood, we're trained to follow rules, to memorize information, to sit still and listen, to raise our hands and wait for permission. We're told to fit in, to not stand out, to behave, and to adhere to social norms that dictate what's acceptable. This conditioning encourages us to trade our authenticity for acceptance, to hide parts of ourselves that might be deemed different or unacceptable. Over time, you learn to suppress your true thoughts, feelings, and desires to avoid rejection or punishment. This creates a split between your outer persona and your inner truth. Your external behavior becomes a mask, a role you play to be accepted. Meanwhile, your authentic self is pushed into the shadows, silenced and minimized. And that split breeds anxiety, insecurity, and depression. Because living inauthentically, constantly performing for others' approval, is exhausting. It erodes your self-trust and disconnects you from your inner voice. Now, the third stage of the trap is external validation dependency. When your sense of worth is tied to grades, social media likes, compliments, job titles, or the amount of money in your bank account, you become addicted to external approval. Your emotions, your confidence, your peace, your sense of identity are no longer rooted within. They are outsourced to others' opinions. You become a mirror, constantly seeking validation from outside yourself. This dependency creates a fragile sense of self, because if external validation is withdrawn, your self-esteem collapses. If someone criticizes you, your mood dips. If you're ignored, you feel invisible. Your happiness becomes conditional, fluctuating based on whether others approve or disapprove. And that's exactly where the system wants you, living in a state of dependency, constantly chasing approval, comparing yourself to others, and fearing judgment. The more insecure you feel, the more compliant you become, easier to manipulate, easier to control. This leads to stage 4, fear-based control. Society bombards us with messages designed to trigger fear. Fear of not being good enough, of missing out, of being left behind, of loneliness. Marketing campaigns, social media, the news, all feed into a narrative of scarcity, lack, and danger. Fear shrinks your awareness, narrows your focus, and makes you more susceptible to influence. It distracts you from your true power and keeps you fixated on survival mode. When you live in fear, you're less likely to question, to challenge, or to step outside your comfort zone. Instead, you conform even more, silencing your inner voice to avoid discomfort or conflict. Most people don't realize that they are self-policing at this stage. They internalize the rules of the trap and judge themselves harshly for any attempt to break free. They mock their own dreams, dismiss their intuition, and settle into a life that feels safe but unfulfilled. So how do you break out? Step 1 is question the narrative. You have to start asking yourself, who told you who you are? Where did your beliefs come from? Who benefits from you thinking small or staying stuck? This requires honest self-reflection and a willingness to challenge everything you've been told. Interrogate every assumption, especially the negative ones. Are you truly bad with money, or did no one teach you financial literacy? Are you too sensitive? Or have you been surrounded by people who suppress emotion and shame vulnerability? Are your limitations real, or are they stories you've accepted without question? Once you start questioning the narratives, the illusion begins to crack. You realize that many of your beliefs are conditioned, not innate truths. The second step is redefine normal. Society's version of normal is often just another word for dysfunction that's been normalized through repetition. It's normal to be burned out, to feel disconnected from your purpose, to stay in jobs or relationships that drain you. But what if normal is just a default setting that doesn't have to be yours? What if you could define what's normal for you? You get to decide what a healthy, fulfilling life looks like, based on what brings you joy, purpose, and authenticity. You can choose to reject the societal script and create your own standards for success and happiness. Remember, just because everyone else seems to accept a certain way of living doesn't mean it's right for you. The third step is reclaim your internal authority. For years, you might have waited for permission from parents, teachers, bosses, society to speak up, rest, dream, or heal. But the truth is, no one is coming to give you that permission. You are the author of your life. You hold the pen. It's time to give yourself permission to speak your truth without apology, to rest without guilt, to pursue your passions without waiting for external approval, because your life is yours to create. You have the power to rewrite your story. The fourth step is unplug from the validation matrix. Start paying attention to how often you act just to be liked, praised, or approved. Notice when you compromise your values or suppress your authentic self to seek validation. Then, make a conscious choice to do the opposite. Do the thing you're afraid to do. Speak your truth even if no one listens. Share your ideas even if they're unpopular. Live aligned with your values, not societal expectations. Freedom isn't about applause or recognition. It's about inner alignment and self-trust. The fifth step is own your shadow. Society keeps you in line by weaponizing shame, making you feel guilty for parts of yourself that don't conform. But what happens if you face that shame instead of running from it? When you own your shadow, your fears, insecurities, anger, wildness, you reclaim your power. You stop giving others the ability to control or define you. You realize that these dark parts are actually vital aspects of your whole self, waiting to be integrated and healed. Owning your shadow makes you ungovernable, because nothing can be used against you when you accept all parts of yourself. The sixth step is surround yourself with liberated minds. Liberation is contagious. Find the community of people who speak truth without flinching, who celebrate growth and authenticity, and who live from their own inner truth. Being around such people reminds you that freedom is possible, that you're not alone in your desire for a different life, and that the mental cage can be broken, one belief at a time. Seek out mentors, friends, or communities that inspire you to grow, challenge the status quo, and live authentically. The seventh and final step is create new systems. Rebellion alone isn't enough. You need to build something better. Create rituals that align with your truth. Practice relating to others based on mutual respect and genuine connection. Define success on your own terms, free from societal expectations. Design your life around your values, not around what society deems successful. Cultivate habits that nurture your growth, your creativity, and your well-being. Remember, liberation is not a destination. It's a continuous practice. Each day, you have the opportunity to choose authenticity over conformity, growth over complacency, and freedom over fear. And here's perhaps the most powerful truth of all. The trap only works if you forget that you're in it. The moment you see it, name it, and start choosing differently, it begins to fall apart. The cage is only as real as your belief in it. You are not broken. You are not powerless. You are simply waking up to the fact that you've been living inside a system that doesn't serve your highest good. And the path out, the path back to yourself, begins with awareness. It begins with questioning everything. It begins with reclaiming your power and rewriting your story. Because at the end of the day, liberation is your birthright. It's the natural state of being when you strip away the layers of conditioning and remember who you truly are. So, take a deep breath, look around, question what you've been told, challenge the norms that don't resonate with your soul, and step boldly into your own freedom. The trap is real, but so is your power to escape. The only question is, are you ready to see it? Are you ready to break free? Because your journey back to yourself starts now. And once you do, you'll realize the life you've always wanted was never outside of you. It was always within, waiting to be reclaimed. This is your awakening. This is your liberation, and it begins right now. If this message resonated with you, if you're ready to wake up to the truth and start breaking free from the invisible chains, then I invite you to join this community of awakening souls. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay connected and receive more insights like this. By subscribing, you'll be part of a movement that's committed to uncovering the truth, challenging the status quo, and stepping into our fullest potential. If this video inspired you or made you think differently, give it a like. Your support not only encourages me to create more content, but also helps others who need to hear this message find their way out of the trap. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. What parts of this message resonated most with you? Do you see elements of the trap in your own life? Or maybe you have insights or experiences you want to share. Drop your comments below. Let's start a conversation. Your story might inspire someone else to see the truth and take their first step toward liberation. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Together, we can create a ripple of awareness that shifts the collective consciousness.